2:17 a.m. in the morning. This is Ivan, back again another month. I'm going to keep saying it. You better enjoy my Miscellaneous series. I'll be missed for generations to follow because you're only looking at 10 videos left. So let me break it down for you how much videos you have left of Ivan. That way you know I'm not playing the games. Alright? So you have this video, the red carpet. Then a month from now, the script developer. You're looking interesting talking about that. I'm going to talk about the potential candidates for the script developer position. I want my 4 team to be guys. So the script developer will be helping me with writing the script for all my movies. He'll be making business calls also. Obviously, he's gonna be my assistant producer. At the same time, he'll be helping my assistant director for Miscellaneous. He'll be doing the concept arts with me. So the script developer will be doing the creative, but he'll also be doing business. He'll also be making business calls as well. Yeah, I don't pay $2 million for nothing, obviously. Right? Again, you're looking at I'm going to talk about the potential candidates. You have Jon Favreau. You have the people who worked on Avengers. You can hire one of those screenwriters to be a full-time script developer for Sky Source. You have Rian Johnson. You have J.J. Abrams. Those guys. You can hire one of those guys to be a full-time script developer. You're looking at interesting talk for that. And then after that, I'll talk about the secretary. I'll end the year off with the secretaries. So I want secretaries who worked in Hollywood. See, these people, I only want secretaries who worked in Hollywood. I don't want secretaries who work. If you're, for example, the reason why I don't want to see these people is because I want the best of the best, obviously. And also, if I were to allow C-list people to apply, my 16 will be bombarded with like 100,000 resumes. So my 16 can't handle it. Hence why I only want Hollywood people. So I want the secretaries who work in Hollywood. You can hire the best secretaries who work for the big companies. So secretaries who work for the big television companies, who work for the big Hollywood companies. I want 2 secretaries. I might actually have to hire 3. I don't know. I might perhaps have 17, but 2 secretaries should be enough because they're going to get a shitload of calls from the agents. But my 2 secretaries, I'll pay them a nice $1 million yearly salary. But the secretaries, even though they're going to be handling administrative work, like taking calls from the agents and the businesses and all that stuff, calling all people, calling all the agents back, creating all the ads, obviously for the casting calls, for the crewmen, all that stuff, the extras in Switzerland, they have to create all those ads. I also want them helping my 4 with business calls. I don't pay you $1 million for nothing, man. I'm going to make sure. So my secretaries are going to be my administrative assistants, but they're also going to be my co-assistant producers. I want them doing business work. Then after early 2021, around that time, I should get my laptop back. I should be pumping out. I'll make a video every 2 weeks next year. Around that time, around the end of January, I should make my finished content announcement. And my next video after that will be the accountant. So the accountant was responsible for this. My accountant will be responsible for keeping track of the budget, obviously. The budget for the movie, the salaries, all that stuff. He's keeping track of that. And he'll be making business calls. He'll be busy making business calls, obviously. Right, my accountant. Again, pay him a nice $2 million yearly salary. My legal advisor will be the one. He's responsible for the laws. So I want my legal advisor. Whenever I want to lease property for the movie, I'll have my legal advisor make the call for that. The laws of the land and all that stuff. The laws. He's responsible for the laws, the contracts. My accountant and legal advisor will be every time I sign contracts. My accountant and legal advisor will be with me and my wife. Whereas the script developer and head production will be in the office making more business calls. And the secretaries as well. Because the secretaries, I told you, I want them making administrative calls. I also want them making business calls. Right? So I'll have the accountant, and after that, the legal advisor. And after that, you have head of production. Head of production is responsible for the schedule of the movie, the entire movie. So he's going to be responsible for creating the schedules for the actors, for the training, all that stuff. The actors for the training the second year, when the actors are supposed to leave. The secretaries will call the agents, but my head of production is responsible for creating the schedule. Again, you can put money into an advanced system whereby it's easier for them to make the schedule, and you can send it to the actors' agents. That way, the actors know. Okay, Ivan's flying you to sign a contract. Ivan's flying you in for the shoots. You know what I'm saying? Here's your schedule for your training schedule. Here's your training schedule for the second year weight training. Here's your schedule for the third year for tactical horse training. Your table reads. He's responsible for creating the schedule. Obviously, the schedule. When production starts, he's the one responsible saying, "Hey, it's time to wake up. It's time for filming." He's responsible for all that. At the same time, he'll also be doing business calls. So my 14 are gonna have many hats. Even though my script developer is helping writing the script and the console arts, he's also my assistant producer. He's making business calls. The other three are making the entire 16. They're all gonna be making a shitload of business calls, and they're gonna be the bosses after me and my wife. So I'm like, look, man, when you're in Switzerland, you're in charge. You guys are overseeing everything. I'll hire probably a good 2 assistant producers to help them. Because at the end of the day, the supervisors will handle their own section, but the 6th team are going to be overseeing that, as well as the assistant producers who are helping them in Switzerland. Now, after the head of production, right, and don't forget, while I'm making those videos, I'll be making my phase announcements. So once I make the finished content, I'll make finished Grammarly editing. And after that, I'll design my map. You're looking at interesting topic that I'm going to talk about the world of Miscellaneous that I created. Right? You're looking at an amazing video for that. After design my map, I'm going to end off my phase analysis with finished formatting. And once I make the analysis that I'm done finished formatting, my wife's gonna fucking celebrate because she knows I'm done my book. Oh my god, I even finished this book. While as you world, you're gonna fucking panic your asses off because you now know. Oh my god, like. After the finished formatting video, all Ivan has left is Swimming with the Sharks. So after my formatting video, I'll make the Swimming with the Sharks video. That video, I'll talk about Amazon, how SkySource is going to be partnering with Amazon, obviously. Again, I told you I could choose to go online streaming and just stream my movies on my site, but I'm not a fan of online streaming. I want SkySource to be direct to 4K Blu-ray. Because 4K Blu-ray, you're looking at something top notch. You're looking at something top notch for 4K Blu-ray. 4K Blu-ray, right? You're looking at something top notch for 4K Blu-ray, and something top notch for 4K Blu-ray, and hence why SkySource you're looking at SkySource will better than Hollywood, man. When those actors get the 4K Blu-ray in the mail and they get their nice kick-ass posters. And you get the nice like shiny disc, and you put the Blu-ray in your 4K Blu-ray player. Like, remember, you have to buy a 4K Blu-ray because remember that, right? You put the disc in your 4K Blu-ray player. You get a nice big screen TV, and you put it in the movie and you watch it. You're gonna be like, holy shit! Like the Blu-ray, you have the 4K Blu-ray effect, as well as the unheard of technology going into the movie. As well as Eric being the devil himself, Ephesus. You're looking at devils in the picture, you're going to be like, holy shit, this guy's just so much quality, yeah. And that's why those actors are a lucky chosen one, man. Yeah, but Swimming the Sharks will be about Amazon. Going back to Swimming the Sharks. Swimming the Sharks will be about Amazon. Remember, do not let the sharks do. But yeah, Amazon is the biggest company in the world right now. They're bigger than Disney. And they have warehouses all over Europe and North America. They can ship 4K Blu-ray copies and posters all around the world. Hence why they're worth a nice 40%. On the website it says 50%, but what I'm gonna do is I'll call Amazon. I'll meet with the CEOs and Jeff Bezos, whatever it is, and I'm gonna obviously negotiate with them. Again, you're gonna see this in the doc. You're gonna see me and my wife. What I'll do is I'll bring my my accountant. It'll be me and my wife, the accountant, and my legal advisor, while I'll leave my script developer and head of production 2 secondaries in the office because they have to work. They have to work, obviously. Put them to work. I'll pay you for nothing. Don't forget that. Because I'm paying them $2 million, $1 million. I'm gonna make sure I put you to fucking work, man. No way I'm gonna let you slack off. No, like when I fly to the Amazon office, you can either fly them. You can either fly. I can choose to fly Jeff Bezos and the CEOs to my office, but for Amazon, I prefer to go there. I want them to show me like what they have and all that stuff in the warehouse, because Amazon obviously creates Blu-ray discs. Obviously, okay, this is what I want. I want Zayas to be in 3 volumes, 6 discs. You're looking at like a 12-hour movie, so 6 discs, 2 discs per volume, and I want it only in 4K Blu-ray. And at the same time, I'm not giving you any more than 40%. On your website, it says 50% of the royalties, but for my brand, I only the maximum ever going to go is 40%, which they'll obviously agree to, as 40% of what they're making for Sky Stores is more than 50% of what they're making for any other product. So Amazon will obviously agree. They'll gladly agree, obviously, right? At the same time, I don't want you charging me for the payments. I know if you Amazon Pay, they charge you for the payments. I don't want you charging because I'm giving you 40% of the royalties, and you're going to be making you're going to make a good like $1.3 billion off the Miscellaneous Blu-ray sales. It's fair that you don't charge Skysys for the payments, which they obviously will agree. They obviously will agree to. Obviously, okay. Skysys is the exception because you're going to make our company billions of dollars for years to come, and our company's only going to grow and get better. Ivan's the exception, obviously, because I'll be making Amazon billions of dollars. Like, gentlemen, don't forget, do not let the Hollywood actors dupe you. They're also sharks. I don't care how big you are. Like for Zanus, I don't have any big A-list actors for that. But for the organization movie, I'm gonna have 8 A-listers. So I'll do a thing where you cast 3 big ones and you cast 5 smaller ones. It's one thing for you to pay a big actor like 17 million, 20 million. Again, 20 million is a good like 15 million American. 23 million is a good like 17 million American. It's one thing for me to pay them at that salary and give you a bonus. I'll give them a bonus from their salary, obviously. So if I pay a big actor like 23 million, you can pay him a nice like $4 million bonus, which is nice, and the rest to start production. It's one thing to pay those big actors. Again, a big A-lister, if you see anyone worth 70 plus million, though, that's a bigger A-lister. So if you see someone worth 70 million, 80 million, 90 million and up, those are bigger ones. Or if you see someone worth under between like 15 to like 60 million range, those are smaller ones. So do not do. Yeah, it's one thing to pay those actors a nice salary, but it's another thing for them to take a piece of royalties. They're not worth your rights royalties. They're not worth. They're not even worth like $2 million of their royalties. Considering Amazon's already taking 40% of the royalties, the last thing you want to do is give these actors a certain percentage of royalties, and like $100 million goes to them, and now you're losing money. No, and now you just lost $100 million. Considering you invested $97 million in your movie, no, they're not worth your royalties. Because at the end of the day, everyone around the world is buying the Blu-ray because of Ivan and VJ. They're not buying the Blu-ray because of those actors. Yeah, those actors create more buzz for the movie, hence why they're worth millions of dollars. But they're not worth taking. They're not worth taking a percentage of the royalties. I'm going to be strict on that. And after Swimming the Sharks, I'm going to end it off with my final announcement. Again, I plan on making the announcement next June, so you only have like 9 months left of me on YouTube, and you're still taking me for granted. Plan on making the announcement next June. In my final announcement, I'm going to give my warning. I'm going to talk about my life from birth. I'll talk about my life from birth and what I went through. That way, once I make that final announcement, and in your True Nature shows, when I throw it over down the drain, I cry my eyes out, and I pay this fee, and I save my wife. Once I come back from death, now that your eyes are open, now that I'm king, when you go back and watch my final announcement, you're gonna be like, oh my god, like look at what Ivan went through in his life, and now he's king, and now he's king. In other words, because right now you guys are blind, you don't see your wickedness, because you guys are wicked people, obviously. But once I make that final announcement, you guys will still be blind, obviously. I don't care. I still want to see Ivan have sex, regardless of what he went through. I never even had a girlfriend in my life. I never even been out with a girl, and yet you're willing to turn me into a porn star and have me share for the rest of my life because you guys are reprobate. You're blind. But it's not until I come out from death and your eyes are open. Once you go back and watch my videos, watch my final announcement, you're gonna be like, wow, look at what Ivan went through in his life, and now he's king. He's a billionaire in his life, and now he's king, and now he's living the life. And that's why you guys are gonna fucking cry. And that's why you better stop taking for granted, world, as this Miscellaneous series will be missed for generations to follow. Anyways, let me stop babbling on for almost 50 minutes now. Anyways, welcome back, world. This is Ivan the Mayor here again. I seriously hope you're enjoying this Miscellaneous series. I'll be missed for generations to follow forever. As I've said many times now, when me and my wife were born, you chose to separate us. So when me and my wife were born, you guys saw the two choices, and yet you still chose to be stupid. Okay, we know if we separate Ivan and VJ and cause this mess and kill Ivan, Ivan's piecing out forever. Oh, but who knows? Maybe he might change his mind. No, you knew full well that by separating my wife, Ivan O'Mara's piecing the fuck out. There's no way I'm gonna let you cry. There's no way I'm gonna let. There's no way I'm gonna let you have me cry heavy tears, knowing that I have to suffer death, and then I come back to life. And after a virgin man who did no wrong is a porn star and suffers death, finally he gets to see his wife after 30 years, so he never even got to see her grow up. You're gonna sabotage my channel and not talk about me, and you somehow think Ivan's gonna make videos of you when you know full well I'm piecing the fuck out because I'm not gonna do like that. In other words, I set everything up whereby Ivan O'Mara is guaranteed gonna peace out. VJ and Ivan are guaranteed gonna peace out. I set it all up, man. You can't do God here, man. And you made your foolish choice, and it pisses me off because you guys would have seen my glory in Hollywood for almost 30 years now. Even if you would never know what it's like for me and my wife to have sex, that's how crazy you are. Because I don't like. There's many people in the world I'll never know what it's like to have sex. And I don't care. And when it's Ivan, you have to see him have sex because you guys are crazy people, man. Because we can't see Ivan have sex, he has to die to be his wife, and you guys don't even see your wickedness and how crazy you really are. Right? So as I said many times though, when me and my wife were born, you chose to separate us, cause mess, hence the horror mess in Hollywood, and even killing us a man, knowing full well Ivan and Vijay will be piecing the fuck out forever, and you'll never hear of two gods ever again, with the exception of the trends, the movies, and docs. As I'll say to you, world, you will reap what you fucking sow. As when both me and my wife were born, you saw the two choices. You saw the life had you not separated us, and the life that you the life that you see now when both Vijay and Ivan are separated. So when me and my wife were conceived, by the time me and my wife were born, you guys already had your meetings around the world. Lock all doors on Ivan. Do not talk about Ivan in the public eye. Set everything up for VJ being a porn star. Set everything up for Ivan being a porn star. But locking doors. I mean, you guys already set everything up. But what you don't see is that in doing so, now Ivan and VJ are guaranteed going to peace out. There's nothing worse than death, man. What did I do to deserve that? I didn't do anything wrong to deserve death. And you're willing to kill an innocent man. You didn't do anything wrong, all because you can't see him have sex. In other words, you, world, when me and my wife were born, you saw the two choices. You saw the life. You saw the life, me, king in Hollywood, my wife's queen with me. We have the glowing. You saw us as kids. You know what I mean? The movie, I don't know, me and my wife doing movies as kids. Me and my wife going to the same high school. We're the main attention. We're famous celebrities. You saw that life. Yeah, Ivan and Vijay are the main show around the world. Imagine there's a good chance they would have made a documentary about me and my wife in high school. Me and my wife would have went to the same high school. We would have been high school sweethearts, obviously. You guys saw that glory. Oh, Ivan and Vijay are the main. Are the main news. They're on the news. They're on the magazines. They're the main attention around the world. They're acting in all these movies at the same time. They go to the same school. Because me and my wife obviously would have went to the same school together. We're inseparable, obviously. We would have been high school sweethearts. You saw that, and you're like, fuck, man. Even though seeing their glory is amazing and we're saved, we're never, every time we dream, we don't see them have sex, so we're never going to know what it's like to have sex. And you saw this life that you see now. Okay, if we separate Ivan and VJ and cause mess of their lives, we're going to get a sabotage Ivan on YouTube. We're going to get a trashy porn star VJ in Hollywood. VJ will cry tears because she can't see Ivan. Ivan will cry tears because he has to die for VJ. You saw that. And you're like, fuck, man, if we cause mess in her life, we're not going to be saved. We're going to be left behind. Yeah, and yet you made a stupid choice anyways. Because the reason why you made that choice is because you somehow foolishly hoped that even if we don't talk about Ivan and VJ, hopefully they change their mind and make videos. But you know full well, I'm not going to let you do like that. I'm piecing the fuck out after this. And once I'm king and I'm a billionaire, I'm no longer going to think about my sabotage channel. All I'm going to think about is spending the life with my wife forever and acting all these big budget movies. That's what you guys need to understand. Once I'm king, I'm gonna totally forget about my sabotage. Once I'm experiencing that fame with the trends, the constant trends online, people constantly asking me and my wife for autographs, for pictures. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting the process of saying I'm a movie star. I'm acting my own big budget movies. I'm going to totally forget about my sabotage channel. There's a reason why I call it Ivan's Miscellaneous series. Because my series will be missed. Because once you see the trends and you see the first Doctor, the first movie trailer, you're gonna go back and be like, oh my god, Ivan totally forgot. Ivan totally forgot about his videos. Yeah, once I'm king, I'm totally forgetting about my old life. I'm not even gonna make. I'm not even gonna think about making any videos on my sabotage channel because now I'm a movie star. My first doctorate dropped. I'm famous. I'm the most famous person in the world. In other words, me and my wife will have that amazing feeling of feeling on top of the world, which is an amazing feeling, obviously. Yeah, there we go. So on the one side, so when me and my wife were born, on the one side, you saw me and VJ in Hollywood, king, queen, we're ruling over the world. You saw me and my wife in the news. Me and my wife going to high school together. We're high school sweethearts. Me and my wife acting. Me and my wife would have acted in movies at a young age. Most likely would be in Hollywood. We would have acted in a movie at a young age. You see me and my wife on magazines. You see my wife doing music videos together. Seeing me and my wife doing radio interviews together, seminars. You saw that glory and you're like, fuck, man. The seminars, the YouTube videos, me and my wife doing YouTube videos, movies, Comic-Con. You saw me cracking jokes, Victoria Justice cracking jokes at Comic-Con, right? And you're like, fuck, man. Seeing their glory is fucking amazing. But if we let them, but you couldn't, you saw the glory, and you knew the glory was amazing. Okay, seeing IMVJ's glory is so amazing because we feel saved. It's cool being a part of the experience. But fuck, man, if we let them be together, you're like, fuck, man, if we let them be together, we will never know what it would be like for them to have sex. But you guys obviously talked about it. You guys obviously talked about this. But at least, but you're like, but you guys, like, before you chose to separate us, you're like, oh, if we let them do their thing in Hollywood, if we open the doors for them and let them do their thing in Hollywood, and they're the main show, their main attraction world, yeah, we're saved, and we got to see the two guys' glory, but you're like, fuck, man, but we're never going to know what it's like for them to have sex, obviously, because Ivan and Reach to turn us on, obviously. But at least we would be forever saved by the two gods. That's what you guys obviously discussed, obviously. And not have that horrific feeling of being left behind. So when you guys were talking about it, you guys were like, fuck, man, like, if we let them be together, we're never gonna know what it's like to have sex. But at least we're gonna be saved, and we're not gonna have that horrific feeling of being left behind. Obviously, you saw that and talked about it. Obviously, like, man, if we let our envy take over and we choose to cause mess, you saw this. We choose to cause mess in their lives and separate them. Ivan has to die, and Vijay will cry tears because she can't see Ivan. And because Ivan has to die, you guys were like, man, if we let our envy take over by choosing bullshit sex, that amazing glory that we're seeing now, because you guys can see, obviously, I have the keys. That amazing glory that we would have seen is now lost. Right? That amazing feeling of being saved that we could have chosen will now be lost, and Ivan and Vijay will be pacing the fuck out forever. And only the lucky chosen few, like the actors and the crewmen, only they will get to experience this success and fame, and everyone else will be left behind. Right? Hence, Your World knew the whole thing was a setup, whereby you have to make a choice, and Your World made the foolish choice, choosing bullshit sex, because when I pay this fee, you're not going to see me. When I pay this fee, World, you're not going to fucking see me, man. And yet you chose to make this stupid choice anyways. Right? You knew full well that by choosing bullshit sex, you're not going to making this choice, choosing bullshit sex, you're going to see my flesh, but you're not going to see my spirit. You knew full well you're getting rip-off sex. So you rather have rip-off sex, a sabotage Bum Ivan on YouTube, a rip-off sex with VJ, a trashy sabotage portion of Hollywood, rather than an attorney of glory in Hollywood forever, and never know what it's like to have sex and be saved. And you guys chose rip-off sex. Because the sex you're getting from me when I pay his fee is rip-off sex. Yeah, you're seeing my flesh, but my spirit left. My spirit's not, I'm blocking out the screen. You're not going to see me. Hence, you're getting rip-off sex. So you chose rip-off temporary bullshit sex, a sabotage Ivan on YouTube, and a trashy porn VJ in Hollywood, over an eternity of glory with the movies, seminars, talks, Comic-Con. Being saved and never knowing it's like for me when I have sex. That's how reprobate you guys are, man. You guys are crazy fucking people. Right? Right? Foolish choice, choosing bullshit sex. So when I pay this fee, you're not gonna see me, obviously. And to keep me supposedly ignorant and poor, the stepfamilies have to hide their wealth from both me and my wife. So when you are born, the stepfamilies already created their own fake. They already created their own bank account. Okay, when Ivan and Vija are born, we need to supposedly fool them and believe and have them believe that we're not rich. That way we can protect Zero N and keep Ivan poor. Because if the step family, if in other words, if the step family, if I knew my family was rich, they can't keep me poor because it looks bad on them. If you're rich, why am I poor? You can't keep me poor. You can't keep my wife poor. You can't sabotage your career because it looks bad on you. Hence, you have to hide your wealth. So when me and my wife were conceived, the step families they already set up their bank accounts. Okay, have Ivan grow up in a shitty apartment. That way he thinks we're poor. You know what I mean? Supposedly, but I found out now. I know that they're rich because I wrote my own story. You can't hide from God, man. You can't dupe God. Before I came here. I already wrote my own story. This is what's gonna happen. My the step families, they hid before me and my wife were born. They already hid their wealth. They already hid their wealth from both me and my wife. They already decided to hide their wealth for both me and my wife. And I opened my wife's eyes to the truth, obviously, because she protects her land. At the same time, I woke up when I was 26 years old about what's really the truth about the game, about what's really going on in the world. Yeah, there you go. Okay, hopefully if we hide the stepfather, okay, hopefully we can play Ivan, keep him poor for the rest of his life, keep VJ sabotage trashy ports in Hollywood, and hopefully we can fool them and have them believe that we're not rich. But guess what? I found out that my family was rich because I have God on my side. I wrote my own story, man. You can't dupe God here. Yeah, there you go. And hence they made a foolish choice. Maybe even if we hide our, even in other words, the stepfamilies knew even if we hide our wealth and protect our land, Ivan's gonna open his wife's eyes. He's gonna eventually find out about his nature, about his wife, about the game, about us hiding our wealth. He's gonna eventually find out because I wrote my own story. Can't do God here. Before I came here, I already decreed this to happen. I wrote my own story. Obviously, there's nothing that's now outside me and my wife's control. We wrote our own story before we came here. Duh. Right? Right? So to keep me supposedly ignorant and poor, the stepfamilies have to hide their wealth from both me and my wife. Hence, when Ivan makes that final announcement next year in June, and there's a good chance, it might be delayed to July, maybe, or August, but next year I'll be making the announcement because all I have left to do is my content editing, design my map, ground me editing, and formatting. I'm done. I can finish that in 2.5 months. Hence why they sabotaged my laptop because they knew that if we don't sabotage Ivan's laptop, I would have been done by now. Would have been done my book by now. Yeah, there you go. Hence, when Ivan makes that final announcement, both him and Victoria will find out how rich they really are. Both stepfamilies are. Victoria Justice will find out how rich her sister is. Her sister has billions in the bank. Obviously, as a trust fund. Obviously, has a will. She has $1 billion will in the bank. My stepbrothers have obviously $1 billion will in the bank. Obviously, that they're hiding from me, and my wife. Obviously, Victoria Justice will find out how rich her sister is. I'll find out how rich my stepbrothers are. Because when I make the announcement, I'm finally going to see my stepbrother's nice cars and all stuff that they've been hiding from me. Victoria Justice will see her sister's nice cars. My stepbrothers probably own a couple condos. Victoria Justice's sister probably owns her own house, her own place, yeah. But they have to hide their wealth to protect their own, obviously. Yeah, there we go. She's going to find out everything, man. That's why she's running away with me. She's running the fuck away with me, man. Yeah, there you go. And so Ivan makes that final announcement. Both him and Victoria will find out how rich they really are, which means for almost 3 decades. That's how crazy the stepfamilies are. For 30 years. So you're willing to keep me poor for 30 years. For 3 decades, they hid their wealth from us. So you're willing to hide your wealth for 3 decades, man. It's supposed to be hide your wealth. I now know you're rich, right? You can't do God here. For almost 3 decades, they hid their wealth from us. And me and my wife were like, oh my gosh, we got played for almost 3 decades. Our families are fucking multi-billionaires. In other words, both our families are the gatekeepers to open the doors to fame, wealth, and success, and yet they chose to lock the doors on both me and my wife. In other words, all the times my family sat me upstairs and yelled at me, that was all an act, as the whole time they locked all the doors on me completely. The whole time when Victoria Justice was in Hollywood auditioning for roles, her mother is the gatekeeper. She could have opened the doors to her and have, oh my god, like hopefully I land a role in a big budget movie, and yet her parents are the gatekeepers. They can easily open the door for her. In other words, all those CEOs who work for all those companies, VJ's family and my family, they're the bosses, man. They can control all that, man. They could have easily said, yeah, okay, let Victoria Justice do a big budget movie, and then Victoria Justice could have done a big budget movie. That's how shocked me and my wife are gonna be. We're gonna, oh my god, we got played. And that's why Victoria Justice made that Bang on Your Knees song, because the world messed with us. The Stuff Lions messed with us. They played us, man. They played us for 30 years, man. And that's why she's running away with me, man. Yeah, man. This place is crazy. Yeah, man. The gatekeepers opened the door to fame, wealth, and success, and they chose to lock all the doors on both me and my wife. In other words, all the times my family sat me upstairs and yelled at me all my life, that was all an act, as the whole time they locked all the doors on me completely. That's how wicked both me and VJ stepfamilies really are. And that's how wicked you world are. And yet you're still continuing to take this good man for granted. Because I'm telling you, mark my fucking words, once I get my laptop fixed, I'll be done my amazing fashion novel worth billions. And once I make that final announcement, both the stepfamily's true nature will finally show. In other words, no more Protect Zero N, no more acting. Once Ivan makes that final announcement, the world's true nature as well as the stepfamilies will finally show. I'll show my camera off here.